and I know Trisha is out of town, so I'll record so we can share it with them, and if Carrie doesn't get it in, we can share it with her. But last week you had lots of things to work on. One was your 15 contacts. The other one was your 10 mini catalog challenge. And then you had the audio to listen to. So, Vanessa, you want to share with us a little bit about your week and what you accomplished and what the results were?
Yeah, I didn't have a chance to listen to that audio. I meant to do it today, and I just never got around to it. So I'm definitely going to do that tonight before I go to bed. But I know last week, whenever I got on, I only had one party and no other parties booked. But as of now, I have 3 more parties booked. Like I said, yeah. And my sales are for the month so far at 725. So I've almost reached the 750 mark for that. Sweet. 750 for the handbag or something. Yeah. So I'm doing a lot better than I thought. And I've been making a lot of different contacts from people that are not in my, friend circle and everything. So I think that's helped a lot. And
is that getting easier, Vanessa, the more you do it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And I've been focusing a lot more on host coaching this week, and I think it's going good. I went through the training one more time, and I've just made a lot of trying to get myself a little more organized, I guess. And I've made some little email messages and stuff that I've been sending everybody, and just it's done a lot better. I can tell I'm getting results from it. So it's been going good.
Good. It sounds like you've had a very productive week.
Yeah, I have.
Good. Well, now, were you able to do your mini catalog challenge?
Yes, I did. I don't know the exact number that I handed out, but everywhere I went, I just, took one, handed it to the waitress, drive-through person, grocery store, just kind of handed them out wherever I went. So
good. Did you get good response? Were you able to get their contact info?
I did not get their contact info, and I just got those sticky notes in the mail today that you mailed me. So I'm going to start using those.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm going to start using those now.
Okay, good. Well, and good, you started out and you got comfortable giving them out and saying, here's some information for you. Now that you're comfortable with that, you just have to take it that one step further and say, let me get your contact info so you can follow up with them. Because you just never know what might come from one of those.
Yeah.
That is great. Good job. You seem to be stepping out just a little bit more each week.
Trying to.
So how did you get your 3 new bookings?
2 of them came from the current party that I'm in or closing tonight. And then one other one came from an online vendor event that I'm involved in right now. So it was just a person out of that event that wanted to book a party. And I have I have 4 bookings. I'm sorry, I left one out. But I did get 2 from my party, and then I got 2 from the vendor event. So I actually got 4 bookings.
That is great.
Yeah, so it's been good. I've been putting a little bit of time into that, and it's paid off because I've had a lot of interest on it.
So now tell me a little bit about the online vendor thing.
I guess it came across my groups. I'm in a few different direct sales groups on Facebook, and it came across that that they were doing an online vendor event, and it's basically where if you get chosen, a lot of people comment, but I got the spot for Pampered Chef first. So I'm the only Pampered Chef girl in there, and you have to invite 25 people to the group for your fee. And if you don't invite, then you have to pay. But I invited my 25. And then it runs from Friday to Monday, and you get 10 posts a day. And so everybody it's all direct sales companies, a bunch of different companies, and everybody posts throughout the day. So there's I think right now there's 200 or 300 people in the group. So there's a bunch of people, interacting and stuff. And there's only about 20 vendors in there. So it's a pretty good amount of folks that are looking at the post. And
that's the first time I've heard of that.
Yeah, it's.
Lori, did you know about those?
I know about them, but I've never done one. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I've heard of them, but I've never done one. I tried a long time ago, and it just didn't. The girl didn't run it correctly. It was just a disaster.
Well, it sounds like this one's going
200 to
well.
300 people in there.
Yeah, that is super exciting.
Yeah, it is going pretty good. I wasn't expecting much of it. I was kind of like, well, I'm not really sure if this is going to work out, but I just stuck to it, and scheduled all my posts, and it's been going pretty good. So
That is wonderful. Good job. Well, I love that you are kind of stepping outside and really trying out some different things, and it's paying off. The host coaching is definitely a plus. And I think when you see yourself doing consistent host coaching, you see results. And when you slack off from that consistent host coaching, you can see that too.
Yes.
So good for you for getting out there and getting yourself trained. Are you pleased with your week's results?
I'm very pleased with my week.
I think you've done great. That is awesome. Good, good, good. And you said you did not listen to the recording yet. You're going to try to do that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just haven't got to it this week, but I will do it tonight.
That's okay. That's okay. Listen, it's got some good info, so listen to that. And I'll give you another one this week to listen to as well.
I got Wi-Fi back.
Yay! That's much better. Well, we're going to talk about tonight, Vanessa, getting bookings from your parties. And Lori, I'm going to talk a little bit about the cooking show, but then I'm going to let you kind of address the virtual party because I think you're better at that. You're really good at getting bookings from all your virtual parties. So if I talk a little bit about the cooking show and how to get bookings, you can maybe take that and move it into virtual. Does that sound good?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
All right, good. So let's talk a little bit about where and when you put booking messages in your show. Now, Vanessa, have you done any live shows yet?
I've done one.
Okay. Is that something you want to do, or do you want to be mostly virtual?
I think eventually I might like to do it. Oh, you said cooking shows. I'm sorry. I'm thinking live cooking shows. Like I did like a live on Facebook. I haven't done a cooking show yet. No, sorry.
Okay. But it is something you're interested in? Maybe?
I think that I would be. I'm kind of in a spot right now where I don't think I would have a ton of availability to get out and do it because I don't have a babysitter in this area, really. So it would have to line up with my husband's schedule and everything. So it might be a little difficult for me to have consistent in the home party.
Okay. Well, we're going to talk a little bit about the booking at the home party. And then, like I said, I'll let Lori kind of bridge that gap between the home party and the virtual party. So in the live party, you want to start planting those booking seeds right from the very beginning of your show. And booking seeds are those little lines, those little tidbits of information that you put out that begin to pique people's interest. And when I started Pamper Chef 21 years ago, they said 3 to 5 times you wanted to plant those seeds throughout your show. And that was pretty efficient as far as getting that word out and getting people interested. Now they're saying more like 5 to 8 times. So you want to plant those seeds throughout your show. You start in the very beginning by telling them there are going to be many of you in the room tonight that want to do exactly what Lori's doing and host your own show because your wish list is going to be so long or because you've had so much fun that you can't wait to share this with your friend. So in the very beginning, and I would say that would go the same with a virtual show. In the very beginning, you want to let them know that it's okay if they want to host their own show and that many of them are going to want to host their own show. Because when you put that thought in their brain, then they're thinking about it throughout that whole show. So in the very beginning, you want to plant that seed about booking a show and that is an opportunity for everybody. And then throughout your show, it's nice to sprinkle those things so that you're not just throwing up on somebody and saying, oh my gosh, let me tell you why you're going to have a show, blah, 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 and telling them all the positives at one time. But you're saying, gosh, if you love this manual food processor, all my hosts earn enough free product to get this absolutely free in their kitchen. Oh my goodness, if you love these quick tips and ideas that we share, You're going to love hosting a show so we can share some of these great tips with your friends and family. Or what have you loved most about this show tonight? Those are the ways that you sprinkle throughout your show. Again, so that they're hearing it often and they're hearing it lots of different ways. So you're speaking to different personalities and you're beginning to build that interest throughout your show. So think about some different ways that you can sprinkle bookings throughout your show. What are some things that you can say that are going to entice people, excite people, encourage people to schedule a date on your calendar? And again, I would sprinkle 5 to 8 times throughout that show. And I would say, Lori, with a virtual show, do you tend to have a number of times you talk about bookings?
Yeah, I do at least one post a day.
Okay.
That has to do with bookings, and recruiting, kind of those outside things that don't pertain to the party itself.
Okay, so one a day.
Yeah.
Perfect. And anything specific that you do as far as sprinkle? Any specific words you use that you find to be most helpful?
Sorry. I guess with the Facebook party, it's so much different because you're not in person. So you kind of got to wait till they say something as if, they were, oh, I would love to have this quick cooker, Well, those power tools, we want to help them get it for discounts or free, So when they say they want to get a power tool, something like the quick cooker, the double burner grill pan, things like that, that are a little bit more cash, I will say to them, I would love to have a fun Facebook party with you and your friends too, and you can get this quick cooker for X amount of dollars, especially with August, anything they want is 60% off. So there's no reason for any of us not to have August parties, because those hosts, our guests, they can pick whatever they want for 60% off.
Right.
So I really don't sprinkle anything unless they are responding to a post that they're interested in a certain
So you're
product.
more listening and responding.
Yeah.
Okay. And with a cooking show, you're doing a demo or you're doing a station style show. A station style show would probably be more like a virtual where you would be responding to what they're saying. They're using that quick cooker and they're saying, oh my gosh, I got to have this in my kitchen. How much is this? And that's your cue to go in and say, there's lots of ways you can get that for full price, for 50% off, for 60% off, or even for free when you host a show. So listening to those things and then telling them how they can get that for a better price. I think another way that you want to sprinkle bookings, talk about bookings, is how your host benefits. Because generally people want to help others. And if they know that their current host is going to benefit and they benefit through that future party pick, when they know that, I think they are more likely to book a show because they want to help that host. They want to help their friend. So that's another reason to let people know that they can book a show so that they can help that host. But like Lori said, one time a day at your cooking shows, sprinkle it throughout so that you're getting that message out to people and people know what the benefits are for hosting a show, why they would want to have their own show, and that hosting a show is available to everybody. And then I think letting them know too what is required to have a show. Because a lot of times they might think it's difficult. It's going to be a lot of work. So if you let them know how simple it is to host a show and what their benefits going to be, like the average host earns $100 in free products. Those types of things speak to people. And then at the close of your show, that's when you want to come back in and kind of reiterate all those things you've talked about throughout your show and give it that last final push. Tonight, we would like to have 3 bookings. so that Lori is going to get 3 future party picks. And I'm going to give her an extra free gift as well when she gets 3 bookings. So I'm booking shows for July and August. Be sure to talk with me about what date's going to work best for you. So actually give them that call to action. This is what we're looking for is these bookings. The call to action is let's grab a date. Let's get you on the calendar. So in that close, you want to kind of push that point home and ask for that booking. Okay. Lori, what else as far as virtual can you share as far as bookings?
So as far as virtual parties go with bookings, I have been talking to my team, several people, and Vanessa's one of them, that we started messaging every guest on the party. If you don't have like an extra Pampered Chef account, it's a little bit more trickier, I guess. But if you have a group, like your VIP group or whatever group it may be, I know Vanessa's got a group. As your people come into your party, what you want to do is send them a private message. But if they're not your friends, it may be a little bit difficult for them to see it. So what I would recommend is tagging everybody in the party and say, check your messages for a free recipe. Okay. With that free recipe, you're going to send them a copy and paste message. And it's going to say, thank you for coming to so-and-so's party. We hope that you enjoy it this week. We're going to learn lots of fun tips and da-da-da-da. And then end it with a question. Have you ever been to an online party before? And then that starts a conversation. Some people will continue it, some people will not. If they haven't, then I have another copy and paste message I send them to say, well, let me tell you how the online party works. And then I just give them little details on it. If they have been to a party, I say, great, I love a seasoned party girl, What is your favorite Pampered Chef product? Are you familiar with Pampered Chef? Ask them questions. I typically don't go any further than that as far as just asking them a question, what their favorite product is. And then I say, I look forward to chatting with you on the party. Okay, so that gets that one-on-one personal kind of thing going on. And then as far as bookings go, we have another copy and paste message. If they don't order, then at the end of the party, you can message them back and say, thank you for coming to so-and-so's party. We hope that you enjoyed it, maybe found something new, a new recipe or something that you like. Did you know you can still help Vanessa with her party? If you're like me, you always have a wish list, but your budget doesn't really meet that. So would you consider having a fun Facebook party for her? Every person. If they did order, then you change it up in the beginning. Hey, Dawn, thanks for your order on Vanessa's party. We hope that you enjoyed it. Da, 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 da. Did you know you can still help her by hosting your own party? If you're like me, just kind of do the same message, just change the beginning. Would you consider hosting a party? And I've been getting really good success since I've been doing that in the last 2 weeks.
And do you think that I was using the messages that you sent me, and I think I do the welcome message, and then the next message is usually like if you're like me, sometimes I forget, would you like to add anything to the order? Would you suggest sending that, or doing like what you just said and being like, or like instead of doing that, asking them if they want to host a party? Would you ask them to add an order, or?
I would probably ask them about adding to an order before you close the party, and then once you close the party, send those thank you messages.
Okay.
Whether it's thank you for your order or thank you for attending.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you do that with everyone or just like people that ordered or whatever. So okay.
Yeah. And then something else I do is just, get your host involved. I do a group host chat. So I tell them in my video, we are $1,000 party and 3 bookings. That's your goal. So in my party, in my chat, I will say, like today, I was like, oh, Leanne's got, or no, I said, each of you have 1 booking from each of your parties this week. That is awesome. Only 2 more to go. And then I turn around and somebody on Melissa's party messaged or she placed an order and said she wanted to book a party. So then I was like, oh, Melissa's got 2 people now, kind of keep it competitive towards them. And when they get 3, I give them an extra $50 in free products once that party qualifies, all 3. I wouldn't suggest doing $50 if you're not a director or above. I would do 20, 25, or specific products, whatever you want.
Yeah.
And then tell your host, I give them tips. Tag your friends on those bookings posts. Because they will book for their friends, So kind of working at different angles on the Facebook party.
Are you having good luck getting people responding to those messages?
Yeah.
Like percentage. If you have 30 people in a show and you message all 30, how many do you get two-way contact with?
I would say over half.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
That's awesome.
So you said you normally, but when you send out the messages, you make a post about it and tag everyone, and that usually gets people looking at the messages?
Well, that's what I was saying in the beginning. Mine's a little bit different because I have another profile for Pampered Chef, so I just send everybody a friend's request.
Okay.
And then once they come through and accept my friend's request, then I send them that first thing. But if you don't have a separate profile, if you have a group or whatever,
invite them to the group.
I would tag everybody on the party and maybe like a welcome little picture or something and say, check your PMs for a free recipe. Okay.
I'll have to start trying that. I have had pretty good responses with messages, but I didn't think about doing that so that everybody would see it. That's a good idea.
Yeah. And then once they respond or once they go into their messages, you can send that first message along with a free recipe. But definitely ask them a question, and I've just been asking, have you ever been to an online party? And you wouldn't believe people would say no, they've never been to one.
Yeah. I think my hardest thing is getting that connection. And I even found on my cell phone, I would see messages come up in my notifications that say, you've got a message from so-and-so, and that would go away. I never could find the message on my cell phone. On my computer, I know where to go find messages, but on my cell phone, I could not find it for the life of me. I finally had to give it to Luke and say, where is this message? I know I've got a message from somebody, but where is it? So I'm wondering if the same thing happens. People don't ever see them if I'm not friend requesting them.
Yeah, that's why we have to send them a direction for them to
check it,
to go to their messages.
Okay, and you just put a blanket post in your party that says that?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, I don't do it personally because I have a separate account.
Right.
But ones that don't, yes, you'll just do a welcome little post and tag everybody. If there's 30 people in there, tag all 30 people and say, check your private messages for a free recipe that you're going to love for the summer, or something like that.
Okay.
And then send that first message along with that recipe.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll kind of get them going over to the message, because once your messages start, it's fine. They'll see.
Right. Once you establish connection, you're fine.
Yeah. Right.
Even if you're not friends.
True. Yes.
But it's that establishing the connection that's the hard part. So that's good to know.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've been finding with both of those, sending the messages and stuff as a thank you, and then having my host involved on the party itself. Between the two of us, I think most parties work pretty well. Again, it's all up to your host. I mean, I had 8 parties in June that did nothing. 8.
Yeah.
And I just think it was the host. I mean, I did everything the same. They just weren't listening to me.
Yeah. And that happens. That happens.
Yeah.
And the thing I'll tell you, Vanessa, whether it's a virtual show, whether it's a cooking show, no matter how you're getting bookings, to me, it all goes back to the very basics. The way we book shows is we build desire. We have make sure that people are having a fun experience, because when people have fun, they want to repeat it. And we build that desire by sharing lots of products that they're going to want, sharing lots of tips and ideas. That way they're going to want to come back so they learn more, or recipes. So just make sure that you're building that desire by making it a fun, rewarding experience for everybody, whether it's a virtual show or a cooking show. And that, to me, is how you get bookings, rather than begging people for bookings or going out there and, saying, oh, I need more bookings on my calendar. When you build that desire, people are going to just want to have a show, and it's going to come natural.
Yeah. Yeah. I had a party last night, and and there's a lady on there. She has a lot of Pampered Chef. And when we got off the party, she had messaged me, and she said, I just want to let you know that you're a really good consultant. And I was like, oh, thanks, you're so sweet, And then we just started talking about some craft that she does. I was like, what is that, So we just sat there for like 10 minutes talking back and forth. And then today, when she put in her order, she wants to host a party.
Yay!
So I really didn't I didn't talk to her about doing a party like one-on-one, but just getting on that personal level, like outside of Pampered Chef, she mentioned she does something, and I was like, oh, what's that? So she was sending me pictures and stuff, and we just got talking about that. And then when she did her order today, it said that she wanted to do a party. So I was like, all right.
Good job, Lori. You do such a really good job of connecting with people virtually.
You really do.
Yeah. She's a master at that.
I wouldn't say master.
Well, we do say you are. So what I wanted to share with you next was this 2 bookings, no matter what. And I know we've talked about this.
I'll be right back.
It really should be a rule that you live by, that every show you have to get 2 bookings. And I don't know if I told y'all this, but there was a sales manager that used to work with Pampered Chef, and she used to tell new consultants, you cannot submit a show until you have 2 bookings to attach to that show. And new consultants believed her. So they made sure that they had 2 bookings to attach to every show before they submitted it. And those consultants were successful because they never had to look for bookings. They were getting those bookings from their show, and it was keeping their business going. So one of the 2 is to replace the show you're doing. And then the second one is to grow your business. So this, I think, is a really good visual. If you want to screenshot it, it's something that you may want to keep handy, because I think it speaks volumes. And it shows you an example of 2 bookings from every party and what's going to happen. So in month 1, you have 6 parties booked. We know we're an appointment-based business, so you're going to lose a couple of parties, or they're just going to be dead parties. Nothing happens with them. So if you have 2 cancellations, you're going to actually hold 4 parties. If you hold 4 parties and each one of them you get 2 bookings, now you've got 8 new parties. So in month 2, you're going into that month with 8 parties on your calendar. Again, we're going to count for cancellations, so we're going to end up with 6. But with 2 bookings, now we're going into month 3 with 12 bookings on the calendar. Same thing, 2 cancellations, 2 bookings for those 10 shows. Now we've got 20 parties. And then month 4, you're going to be up to 32 parties on your calendar. Isn't that amazing? Just to see how fast that multiplies and grows. But the scary thing is if you're only getting one booking per party, and a lot of times we're confident if we're getting one booking, we're like, yeah, I got a booking. But if you're getting one booking, you can see how quickly your business is going to diminish because it's not replacing all that you're going to end up losing in those cancellations. So again, month one, you start with 6, you hold 4, you get one booking, that's 4 parties. So now you're going into month 2 with 2 parties less than you went into month 1 with. You're going in with 4 parties. You're going to have those cancellations. Now you've only got 2 parties, 2 bookings per party. You go now into month 3 with only 2 parties on your calendar. And if you have 2 cancellations, guess what your calendar looks like now? Nothing. And that, to me, you need to keep it in front of you because you see how fast your business will either grow or completely bottom out. And I think it helps us stay focused on how important it is to get those bookings from every show so that business continues to grow. Okay?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I feel like that's what I've learned over the last few weeks is how important it is to get bookings during your shows, because I did really well in my first month but didn't get a whole lot of bookings from my shows, and then I had to work really hard to get these on my calendar this month. So now I know.
It is harder, isn't it?
Out too.
Yeah. Yep. It is a lot harder to go out and find bookings than it is to get them from your show.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So just make sure that is your rule of thumb. 2 bookings per show, no matter what. And if you can get 3, like Lori was saying, she tells her host, sets that expectation right from the beginning. A lot of consultants set the expectation very low. They say, $200 in sales is a qualified show. And they don't even mention bookings. And when we set the bar that low, we know that we're in trouble. But by Lori setting that expectation high, she is helping that host believe that that's possible for them to have that. And they're working towards that because they think that's what they need to do to be a successful host. And for the most part, all of us want to be successful in whatever we do. So if you can teach them how to be successful, then you're both going to win in that situation. So 2 bookings per show, no matter what. Make sure that you're sprinkling those booking messages throughout your show, as well as starting out, planting that seed in the very beginning, and always finishing that show with a strong close where you're asking for that booking and getting those dates on your calendar. Any questions, concerns about booking?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, this week, what I want you to do is practice on some other adults, whether it be one of us, whether it be your husband, whether it be your mom, whoever you need to practice on. Call and say, you know what, I need to practice these booking lines. Could you listen to me for a little bit? Or I need to practice asking somebody if they will book a show or when they want to have their show. Practice those words. Another thing I'm going to recommend is to observe a party. So go to have you been to one of Lori's virtual parties?
Yes, I have.
Okay, good. Maybe somebody else. Lori, who else would be? Kim Green is a good virtual party. Rachel Wilson. And she's a friend of mine that you don't know, but she does a lot of virtual parties and has very good luck with those. So since you're mostly virtual, I would say let's get you to observe maybe somebody else doing a virtual show. So maybe you can learn something different. Okay. You'll pick up something different. Would you like me to see if Rachel has a show this week?
Yeah, I would love that.
Okay.
Great.
I'm going to write myself.
Dawn,
yeah.
Won't you ask Rachel if we can put everybody that's in a director bound in her party?
Yes.
I don't think she'll mind.
No, I know she won't. I just have to write myself a note or I won't do it.
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay, good. I'll reach out to her and see, and that way we can, kind of brainstorm together what we saw her do. But I know she only wants to do one show a week, and she's having a hard time keeping it to that. She's getting so much interest in people having shows.
She's good.
And she does it completely different, which is always interesting to see. Two people, Lori and Rachel, that are super successful with their virtual shows, but they do completely different style. And same thing with a live show, different styles. So yes, I'll check on that. Continue your 15 contacts a week. So keep reaching out to people and tracking that in your notebook so that continue to use your power hour in your business so that you're breaking down those different parts of your business into those short 15-minute segments. And then I'm going to send you a audio. This one's called Make It a Full Calendar, and it is going to talk about bookings, how to fill your calendar with bookings. Okay? Now, Vanessa, what's your goal this week? What's one thing you want to accomplish